Thank you.
All right, Damien Woody joins us now here. And Wood, look, the Niners took a shot to the dome with that opening kickoff return. That's okay. So they're already down. But, like, whatever response maybe they thought they were going to have, it felt like Seattle didn't allow them to have it. They jumped on them early, and they stayed on them the whole game.
49ers walked into a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
You know, listen, go back to Week 18 on the road for the opportunity to play for the number 1 seed.
Yep. And
we saw a glimpse of how the Seattle Seahawks team was going to play. And then you fast forward a couple weeks later where a team in the Seattle Seahawks, when you have the number 1 seed, that's the advantage. Yeah. You get rest, you get opportunity to game plan, and you're going up against a beaten and battered 49ers team. Yeah. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, the 49ers, there was a great coaching job by Kyle Shanahan, but they ran out of bodies. They ran out of steam, and they ran up against a team that is one of the best teams in the National Football League, maybe the best team in the National Football League. I was hoping
you were going to qualify that as one of the best, because they might be the team right now. It's sort of, they had the best point differential in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The 49ers, last 8 quarters against the Seahawks team, they've managed 10 points total.
Yes.
It's just really impressive the way the Seahawks have done this. Any sort of wrinkles or problems you see with this Seattle team right now? They did lose Zach Charbonnet today. Don't know his status going into next week.
I think the biggest thing that you see from the Seattle Seahawks team over the last few weeks towards the end of the season is their ability to run the football. They've been able to, this running game of the Seahawks has really been cranking up, and that plays into exactly what they want to do offensively. They want to be a team that runs it and then play action pass off of that. They weren't doing that early on in the season. For most of the season, their running game was kind of up and down. But now, as of late, they've really been cranking up the heat on this running game. And it takes pressure off of Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
That's what you've really been seeing with this running game kind of taking a stranglehold of late. It's not all that pressure on Sam Darnold. He's able to play, error-free football. And when you combine that with the way they play defense, good luck with the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, speaking of Sam Darnold, obviously we heard Lindsey Theory bring that up. There was concern because he had that oblique injury, and he was actually questionable coming into this game. But he threw for 124 yards, 1 touchdown. Granted, he didn't have to do too much in this game. So that's the good news for the Seahawks in terms of jumping out early. But as far as his concern going forward with his condition, you say what?
Bro, you going to the NFC Championship game. I worry about injuries in the offseason.
Okay.
I don't care. Whatever you got to do, you do it at this juncture in the season. So, listen, I'm pretty sure that Sam is hurt just like every other player at this time of year. Everyone's hurt. No one's 100%.
Okay, with that said, though, are you a little surprised that the Niners defense couldn't get to him more?
Well, they were running the ball. They ran the ball for like 200 yards against the 49ers. And that's part of what I was talking about just a minute ago. Their ability to run the football now is taking so much pressure off of Sam Darnold. These teams aren't allowing, they can't force the Seattle Seahawks to be one-dimensional.
Yeah.
If it was all on Sam Darnold, then
he only threw it 17 times.
Correct.
Right?
And when
17 times to get him.
And when you can play that type of game where you can run the football, your quarterback is efficient, and you play smothering defense, you're going to be a hard team to beat.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that defense, because you look all across that defense in every level. Damien, I mean, they're just standouts every position, it seems like.
Yeah, when I watch this defense, obviously it starts with their front, and they got bodies, they got dudes up front that can just get after you and come after you in waves. But the thing that really jumps out to me is the speed in which this defense plays, and what that tells me is they're not running a whole lot of things on defense. They want their guys. They don't want guys thinking a lot. They want guys flying and hitting. Hit, stick. That's all they want to do with the Seattle Seahawks. They got athletes on all 3 levels. Their scheme isn't overly complicated, and those guys are just flying around to the football.
Is this the best defense they've had in Seattle since the Legion of Boom days and they went to the Super Bowl and won it?
No question.
Yeah.
Better or
listen, that's a discussion for another day.
We got time for that?
But those guys are legit.
Okay, we're going to have much more from that game. The earlier game, wild seesaw affair in which the Broncos prevailed over the Bills in overtime. And yet, for all of that, the biggest twist of the day came after Sean Payton's post-game news conference.
Yeah, devastating news there in Denver. We had no idea what he's going to say. He did a press conference, came back, and this was the news that he gave, that his starting quarterback is done for the season.
Not good news. On the second to last play in overtime, Bo fractured a bone in his right ankle. He's scheduled to have surgery Tuesday of this week, which will put him out for the rest of the season. Steady's ready to go. And it was the second to last play before he threw the pass to Mims.
You just said Stiddy's going to be ready. We've seen him in bits and pieces here in the preseason and
anything.
A couple years
yeah,
ago.
I would say this in fairness to what you've seen, which is very limited. Yeah, he's ready. He's ready. Like I said this at the beginning of the season. I feel like I've got a two that's capable of starting for a handful of number of teams, and I know he feels the same way. So watch out. Watch. Just watch.
Well, Stiddy is Jarrett Stidham, the backup quarterback there in Denver. We'll talk about him in a moment. But so Denver has this great win. They're going to be at home again, but now they don't have their starting quarterback. How much of a blow, despite what we just heard from Sean Payton, how much of a blow is this to their chances to go to the Super Bowl?
It's a huge blow. It's one of those things where it seemed like you won the battle but lost the war, because Bo Nix played a phenomenal game. And the one thing that Bo Nix has done so well this season, he's played his best football at the most important points during the game. Late in games, he's been at his best. And clearly in this game, he played in the fourth quarter in overtime. Bo Nix was dealing. He was dealing out there. And so to go out here and win the game in that fashion, only to find out that my guy broke his ankle and now is out for the year, like, that is crushing in the locker room. I don't care how you slice it. It is crushing to those guys in the locker room.
And evidently, clearly, it's not a devastating break, because he was still walking afterwards, did an interview, but just a fracture in the ankle, but it's significant enough that they're going to have to shut him down.
But he's a pretty tough guy, right? He got up from that play where he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
And you could not tell he was hurt at all.
No one realized it.
But you know what? Listen, I've been in a situation where I tore my Achilles actually during a last-minute drive, and the adrenaline just takes over. And I went back and looked at that play multiple times. He was just kind of like jogging back,
right?
Like it was nothing. I didn't even notice anything that would have led me to believe this dude is seriously hurt.
Yeah, and as Michael said, and then he did the full interview with Tracy Wolfson afterwards, didn't mention it, just, very proud of our table. He's got a broken ankle, and he's doing this whole thing. So we just spent a lot of time gushing about the Seahawks. It's a tale of two one seeds here. Seattle looks pretty well set up going into next week. The Denver Broncos, they'll be at home next week. What chance do you give them either against the Texans or the Patriots with Jarrett Stidham, by the way, a former Patriot?
I mean, listen, it's a blow. There's no slicing there's no talking one way or the other. It's a blow when you don't have your starting quarterback out there. And by the way, Jarrett Stidham, I don't think the last time he played meaningful game was in 2023.
He hadn't thrown a pass since the 2023 season. It was actually in January 24, and it was an interception.
Correct.
Yeah. So he hadn't thrown a pass in a game.
Think about it. That's where we're at. Yeah. Going into the AFC Championship
2 seasons without a pass.
Yeah, right. You're going up against either New England or Houston. Both of those teams have elite defenses. Yeah. So this is the challenge that Sean Payton and company is facing going into the AFC Championship game.
Now, it's no surprise here that the Broncos actually came into Saturday 7-1 to win the Super Bowl. But now, plus 370 following the win. But then all of a sudden the news came around that Bo Nix was hurt, and the odds jumped even longer than they were to start the day. I mean, that's not a real surprise, right? Because your starting quarterback is not going to be there for the most important game of the season to this point. Let's show you how this entire game played out, though, because as David said earlier, it was a seesaw affair. We jumped to the fourth quarter. The Broncos